Hello Virgo, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tawana and today I'm doing a reading for you. This reading will not resonate with everyone, but it's intended for persons with a Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign. And today I'm going to use the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, the Radiant Wilds Atlas Tarot deck, the Angel Answers Oracle, and possibly the Wisdom of the Oracle. So I've already shuffled and pulled your cards, so we're just going to jump right in. Virgo, this reading is really gonna test me. I've been just looking at the cards and it looks like you're dealing with a lot of people. But we're gonna start with this unicorn energy. I don't know who this unicorn energy is. Maybe it's you, but that's the immediate thing that that's like the first hit I got when I shuffled the oracle cards and they popped out. I saw this card in the world, not of the world, and this card has come out quite a bit on this channel in different collective readings, and I've never thought unicorn before, but I thought ooh, unicorn. So I don't know if that's for you, or maybe you feel like someone is a little bit different in your environment, or maybe you are a little bit different. You don't identify with a lot of the things in your, or lots of the behaviors in your surrounding or with the people around you, or maybe you just feel a little bit different throughout life, because this card talks about being comfortable living on the fringes of life, doing things a little bit differently, a little unconventionally, even if people don't understand you, even if people have things to say about you. It's the ability to do you. And only you can do you like you can. The next card we have is Free from Judgment, which is such an interesting card to come right after, or a unicorn card, right? So living as a unicorn, living your life on the fringes, and freedom, freedom from judgment, free to love. I feel like that's self-explanatory. So maybe there's an aspect of self-judgment here, or maybe you feel judged by other people around you. Maybe there's an element of judgment here. But here's the thing. If you're living in unicorn energy, you're very used to judgment. If you are brave enough to be on the fringes in life in any way, shape, or form, whether that is in your work or your relationships, whatever you're doing just a little bit differently, this is a given. You gotta get ready to be judged. Maybe that's what you're feeling in a situation in the coming weeks. Maybe you're feeling very hyper aware of how different you are because of the environment around you, the people around you. And then we have Release the Dark Hold, Let Love Live. So it feels like there's a little bit of maybe contention. I don't want to say darkness, because darkness feels so dramatic. I don't necessarily feel like you're dealing with darkness. I mean, you could, but I feel like maybe this is just negative emotions that we feel. Maybe this is releasing the judgment that you feel for being a little bit different. Not allowing your unicorn light to diminish just because others around you don't understand you, are judging you, think that you're different from the pack, different from the group. Let's jump into the tarot. The first set of cards we have, first card that came out is the Five of Wands. So there is this, I want to say strife energy. Five of Wands clarified by the Nine of Wands. There's an argument, there's a battle, there's a disagreement. It feels like many people with just many different opinions, many different ways of doing things. And it may not necessarily be that people are arguing on the surface, but it's just multiple different agendas. That's how this feels. And it's causing you to kind of take a step back, to maybe not want to be involved, maybe be a little bit self-protective, maybe exercise your boundaries. Maybe your boundaries are going up, or maybe you don't realize that your boundaries are as strong as they are, because you're uncomfortable and you're realizing that the environment is just very contentious. There are very different agendas here. Like, where do you fit in the midst of all these people? Feels like maybe you're in an environment, or you were in an environment, because we're starting the reading over here and this is my past energy like section. Yeah, maybe you were in an environment where it was making you feel very like gated, like you're gatekeeping yourself because you just didn't want to be involved in all of that, whatever that is, if that's an argument or if that's just you realizing that, wait a minute, like everybody has different opinions on how things should go here, and I don't want to be a part of that. And I'm even feeling more that this is a group dynamic. Maybe this is like a family situation or even a family dynamic, because we also have the 10 of Pentacles clarified by the Judgment and the 3 of Pentacles. So you got involved into something. You definitely got involved into something and realized really quickly how contentious it was. And how much of a lack of cohesiveness or harmony is in this situation. Maybe that's your unicorn energy. Maybe that part of your unicorn energy is desiring harmonious environments. Maybe. But yeah, this doesn't feel very harmonious to me. Like, it's like you got involved in something, a work project, a family dynamic, some kind of something that seems to be, it was meant to be collaborative. The 3 of Pentacles is 3 people working together because they have a shared goal. But this goal doesn't feel shared at all because everybody wants it probably their own way. So I'm realizing that you're becoming exhausted, or maybe you became exhausted in that situation. So you just wanted out because you realized the environment just wasn't in harmony with maybe who you are and the energy that supports you. We also have the 10 of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Page of Cups. Why am I picking up family here? Picking up a family situation. This probably is going to be like a family situation for a lot of you. It may not be family for all of you. Some of you, it's going to be like work or business because of these pentacles that are here. But I feel like a lot of you guys are going to resonate with this in terms of like a family dynamic. Anyway, this is you. You're coming up as the Queen of Wands. She's been coming out a lot lately. Very aware and enlightened energy. From this specific deck, I've been getting a certain level of awareness from the Queen of Wands that I don't often get. I mean, the Queen of Wands is aware. But this Queen of Wands has multiple aspects to their personality. Unicorn. This is a multi-dimensional Queen of Wands, very multifaceted Queen of Wands in this deck. And maybe this is the aspects of you that's making you come out as this unicorn. Like, there's so many aspects of you, and it's feeling like someone who's very illuminated, or maybe you're being illuminated to this specific situation and the real dynamics and what's really going on in this situation and with these people. But it feels like it's almost like the contentiousness, the strife, the argumentativeness, the multiple different people wanting and having their own agendas feels heavy on you, feels like a burden to you. It almost feels like you want to flee from it. It feels too much. And then I wanted to clarify what exactly felt too much for you. And then we got the Page of Cups. So I'm wondering, like, is this a child for some of you? Page of Cups, the pages talk about children. Maybe this Queen of Wands is overwhelmed because maybe they have a lot to deal with. Maybe this Queen of Wands has a child. Maybe that's the overwhelm. There's something here about children or a child. And if this is not a child, this could be maybe the Queen of Wands is being impacted emotionally in this dynamic. Maybe it's impacting their creativity, it's impacting their emotions. The entire situation is impacting them emotionally. It's too much. And I feel like maybe you are communicating that. Maybe you're communicating that, or you are being advised to communicate that if you are identifying as the Queen of Wands. Like, this may be too much for me. I'm sorry. This is just too much. Because I feel like there's an aspect of you being impacted in a way that it feels small, but it's actually not. Like, it feels like a tiny thing, but it's actually not, because this is how it's making you feel. Burdened. There's only so long that you can carry the sun on your shoulders. I think you're being encouraged to say that. Say it. Maybe you have. Who knows? Maybe you have. Moving to the next part of the reading, we move to the Seven of Swords and the Three of Wands. And it almost feels like, to me, I don't know if this is the Queen of Wands, but I feel like there are multiple people in this scenario, which is why I'm leaning to say this is like a family or like a group dynamic in some way, work, something that has a lot of people in there. But it feels to me like the Queen of Wands is strategically taking themselves out of this situation. Someone is going back to something in the past. I feel like it's the Queen of Wands. It's like they're choosing a new direction or you're choosing a new direction because of the overwhelm that you feel. Like, something is overwhelming. And I feel like your guides are almost encouraging you, if you're this overwhelmed, Virgos, maybe you need to find another place, because that's not, I want to say, healthy energy for you to be in for a long period of time. So maybe you're choosing a new direction, or you're thinking of that. But I feel like there are other people to consider, because here comes this person who they're coming up as the Knight of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. Look how much you've invested here. Like, look how much we've invested here. Can you just wait? Maybe things will get better. I feel like that's what this person's saying. It's almost like this person is trying to convince the Queen of Wands, like, the situation is going to improve. It's going to improve. It's going to get better. I can assure you the situation is going to get better. And then we also have the King of Wands, King of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. I don't know if you're dealing with a group of people, or a couple, or a family of people that are like trying to convince you. It's like you're in an environment or in a group where you feel like you don't belong. You can't relate. You feel like the unicorn in the group. And because you feel like the unicorn in the group, it's becoming so overwhelming that you want to leave. You want to vacate, because you don't identify with the group. And the group is like trying to like convince you to stay. Like, no, maybe we could. Blah, blah, blah. And maybe they're right. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe the situation will improve, but let's read the energy. Yeah, it's like this group is like, it could be successful. Like, it could work. It could work for you, Virgo. It could work. Maybe we could do it this way to let the situation improve. And this is you. This is the Queen of Wands. I feel like receiving this, it's like you're on the receiving end of hearing all the ways that it could possibly work. And I feel like you are here now thinking of what am I going to do? What is the right thing to do here? But it's almost like I don't feel like you should be asking what is the right thing. I think the question that you should be asking is, what is the right thing for me? That's what I think you should be asking. Because it appears to me as though everyone else is fine. Like, I see everybody else's energy being really okay and fine and uplifted. And you are the one. The Queen of Wands is always the one that is carrying the burden. I mean, in the Justice card, it doesn't look like you're carrying the sun on your shoulders, but it's still behind you. It's almost like it's still looming behind you. It's like a concern, maybe a concern about this group dynamic, a concern about your place in this group that's always gonna loom behind you. Like, you are not going to get rid of that concern just because, like, people are now trying to convince you to, like, make it work. And the fact that you've invested so much, like, you can't get rid of. It's almost like, you know, once you see something, you can't unsee it. Once the mind has expanded, it cannot contract to its previous dimensions. Once you start to travel, your perspective has expanded so much that it cannot go back to where it was, or you are very much more expanded than maybe people in your hometown who've never like traveled before, or a child who's growing up whose perspective is like this, and as they grow the perspective expands and expands and expands like that. It's like you can't go back to what you saw before. Like, you saw it and you can't unsee it. So now, what is right for you is what I feel like you should be asking. Like, is this something that is right for me? Is this something that I would like to stabilize in my life? Like, does this make sense for me? Is this worth putting action into? Because it feels like maybe you're gonna have to be flexible, because that's what this Eight of Wands in this deck talks to me about. Like, this person's on a handstand, but how long can this person be in this position? Reasonably, they're gonna get tired. So those are all things I feel like you are being encouraged to consider. And then we have, beside that, the King of Cups and the Queen of Swords. It's almost like there are people here. Maybe like you're dealing with like a couple or someone. I don't know. But you're dealing with a group of people here who are like pointing out, Queen of Wands, Virgo, maybe you could do this and this and this is how it could work, and this is this is this. But I feel like these people are speaking from their own perspective and what works for them. Remember, you are the unicorn. Does this work for you? That's so funny. I have a candle here and all of a sudden, like, my candle went out. It's really a very wild experience. Just went out. Hold on. All right, maybe I could do this. I have my light all the way over there. All right, let's just finish reading. Yeah, it's like you're dealing with two people. By the way, I don't take that for granted. I think that is very much tied to the reading, that the flame of the candle went out almost as soon as I'm wrapping up the reading. So yeah. Yeah, it's like you're being convinced, like a case is being presented to you. Someone is like highlighting, like, could work this way, could work that way. But I feel like your intuition is what you need to listen to, not necessarily these people, because they may have the best intentions, but they're not you, the unicorn. They don't know what the unicorn needs to survive, to thrive. And then we have the Six of Swords and the Nine of Swords, which it's almost like this could even be a situation where someone is like reaching out to you for forgiveness. Like, maybe you and somebody had a fight, they're coming back to you, look how much we've invested, like, you could come back into the fold, we can do this, and you're like, actually, I forgive you, but this doesn't serve me anymore. I don't hold anything against you, but I've learned that this dynamic just doesn't serve me anymore. That's your choice, though. That's if you decide that this doesn't serve you, because some of you, maybe you could work this out. But we end the reading with the Six of Swords and the Nine of Swords. And I think this is a high level of anxiety, like a lot of thought about what am I going to do? How do I move this into like a calmer space? The Six of Swords is coming from the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is a mental battle. Now the Six of Swords, that's why they say this is moving to a calmer space, calmer waters, calmer territory. And I think that's the question. Am I going to move this to, like, is this situation salvageable for me? Can I achieve the peace, the calm, the stability? Can we all achieve the peace, the calm, the stability that I need for my unicorn life? Whatever your unicorn life is. Yeah, I think that's the consideration. Is this possible for me? I think the answer is being very realistic about who you are and what your needs are. Not the needs of this group, but what your needs are. Because it almost feels like if you're not careful, you'll end up right back here. But let's get some advice for you. Let's get some advice from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Angels, what's the advice for Virgo? Advice for Virgo. Yin. That fell out. I'm not going to take it. That's a jumper. So you have things to do. You have things to do. One more for Virgo. New life. By the book. It's like, if you're going to be a part of this situation, there's work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done here. Not in a forceful way, because the yin is here, which is very like feminine, receptive energy. But there's a lot of work to be done here. And you're going to have to accept that like this is a life change possibly, or a new lifestyle. And do things. By the book talks about doing things traditionally. Like there's no cutting corners. You got to do it step by step by step by step by step by step. I'm going to pull some angel cards too. Advice for Virgos. That is if you choose to be a part of this. Advice for Virgos. Get more information for success. There's a lot to learn. You're only going to be successful when you know all of the info. Last card is remain positive. So I'm going to leave you guys here, and thank you so much for watching.